Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, whom you seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom you delight in. Behold, he shall come, says the Lord of hosts. For who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness.
Shalom, shalom. Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to the Most High God Yahweh. We do so by Hashem Yahushai, right? We are your brothers here at the Refiners, and we're going into our second segment of our last video called Lock In, right? And we're going into marriage, right? About how as it pertains to marriage. And I had mentioned, so I had gotten some message from a man named Deacon Hakah, right? Now known as Priest Hakah. And he had sent us something when we were a part of Sakari, right? That I had sent to my wife, I had sent to a few brothers that I thought was very beneficial for brothers to understand and to know so that it can play a part later in your marriage if you apply these things, right? Because, of course, wisdom that they let you borrow doesn't mean anything unless you know how to apply it or unless you do apply it, right? So I'll put these on the description for you brothers to later look at and take into consideration, read with your wife, send it to your wife so that they can be up to the understanding that we have as to what can make a marriage run smoother, right? So these are things that, like, for example, us in our organization, we have something called the 12 stones as it pertains to a soldier, so you can carry yourself as a soldier properly in our organization. This is the 12 stones of a marriage, right? And again, I got these from Priest Hakah, right? Now Genesis, right? So number one is to treat you as bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, right? This is Genesis 2:23 and 24, right? Go ahead, bro.
Con. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 23. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
So one thing that you can understand from this is, of course, the woman was made for Adam in this sense, right? A lot of people get hung up on where it says this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, as if Eve actually came from Adam. When you go into these words for it, like, for example, bone of it, it's, or from the side of them, Eve was taken from a family member in Adam's family. She was a part of Adam's family. Let me give you an example, right? Watch this. David. So this is, they use an example with that with I think this was David. Yeah. So this is 2 Samuel 19. So I'll start at verse 11. And King David sent to Zadok and to Abiathar the priest, saying, "Speak unto the elders of Judah, saying, Why are ye the last to bring the king back to his house? Seeing the speech of all Israel is come to the king, even to his house. Ye are my brethren, ye are my bones and my flesh. Wherefore then are ye the last to bring back the king?" So this is David telling somebody that they're bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh, right? So are they literally made of David? No, this is his kin, right? Did you read 24? Right, so this term means to have a woman of your own kindred. Before romance, you have to respect her and view her as one of your own people. Before she becomes your wife, she is in the body of Christ, right? So that he has down Galatians 3 and 28. Go ahead, Ben.
Con. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 28. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Christ Jesus.
Right. So this is one of the things you have to understand. Your wife isn't just a slave, and I'm gonna go over this many times in this. She isn't just your slave. She is somebody who is precious in the eyes of the Lord. So who are you as a mere man, as a mere mortal, to look at her as anything else other than that before you see her as your wife? Right. So number 2, to not take you for lust, but to take you righteously, that we may become aged together. And this is Tobit 8 and 7.
Con. This is book of Tobit, chapter 8, and verse 6. Thou madest Adam, and gavest him Eve, his wife, for a helper and a stay.
Mm-hmm.
Of them came mankind. Thou hast said, it is not good that a man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 7. And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly. Therefore, mercifully ordain that we may become aged together.
Right, so, verse 8, right there.
And she said with him, Amen.
Right, so they agreed. They said, let us, we're making this covenant, let us become old together. Right, we all prefer good looks sometimes, but that may not be what's best for you. What's best for you, according to scripture, is her ability to be a woman of the Most High, her ability to excel in motherhood, and her ability to submit to you. And not only that, but understanding that her looks is not what's going to carry your marriage. And that can go the same way with a man, right? A woman might pick a man because he looks good. He's I don't know, whatever.
Has a lot of money.
Yeah, like how the brother says status. That's one of the things that can lead our people into destruction, because you're focusing on the outside appearance and not what's actually going to help in your marriage in the long way, which is your guys' obedience to the Most High God, right? So number 3, to love you with the same propensity that Christ loved the church. This is Ephesians 5 and 24 and 25.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 24. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be their own husbands in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Salakia. So let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
Right. So this means you're willing to lay down your life for her, right, for your wife, and show mercy when she falls short and be patient with her. That's everything that Christ did for us, right? Get Matthew 7 and 2.
Con. Book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 2. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again.
Right, so being merciful, and when they fall short, is essential not only in the eyes of the Lord, to be merciful for them in those times, right, but also for you, right, for you in those days, because we're all seeking mercy, right? And again, this is one of those things that I'm gonna harp on later on the lesson is you're expecting forgiveness in that day, but when someone fails you shortly, right? Yeah, get that, Matthew 18 in the GNT.
Con.
Right. When someone fails you, you're quick to point the finger at them, quick to throw the book at them. But when that day comes, when you seek for mercy, you're gonna be wanting all that mercy, right? But if the Lord deals with you, how you deal with others, how you deal with your wife, are you gonna be happy in that day? Of course not. Right. So let's go Matthew 18 and 21, brother.
Con. This is book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21 in the GNT. Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, if my brother keeps on sinning against me, how many times do I have to forgive him? 7 times?
And again, this is of course to a brother, but like how I said earlier, your wife, first and foremost, she is a daughter of the Most High God, right? So this would apply to her. Go ahead.
Verse 22. No, not 7 times, answered Jesus, but 70 times 7, because the kingdom of heaven is like this.
So now he's going to give a parable of what this is going to be like if you carry yourself in that manner of nobody can mess up because you have such a high standard for your wife. She can't possibly fall short. And when she does, you're going to throw the book at her, right? Go ahead.
Once there was a king who decided to check on his servants' accounts. He had just begun to do so when one of them was brought in who owed him millions of dollars.
So this dude comes in and he owes millions of dollars, right? Go ahead.
The servant did not have enough to pay his debt, so the king ordered him to be sold as a slave with his wife and his children and all that he had in order to pay the debt.
Okay.
The servant fell on his knees before the king. Be patient with me, he begged. I will pay you everything.
So think about it in this sense, right? Your wife falls short for you and she comes up and she's like, bro, be patient with me. You know, I'm trying, I'm learning. I just messed up a little bit. And this is how we should respond, right? Go ahead.
Verse 27, the king felt sorry for him, so he forgave him the debt and let him go.
Right? When you see the sincerity that people that your wife would have if, you know, obviously she messed up and she's like, look, I'm trying to own up to it. How can we fix this? How can we make this better? And he's like, all right, you know what? I see you're being real. So let's figure this out, right? Verse 28.
Verse 28, then the man went out and met one of his fellow servants who owed him a few dollars.
So originally, right, this man was owed the king millions of dollars. So then he goes out to the streets and finds someone that owes him a couple of dollars. What's he do?
He grabbed him and started choking him. Pay back what you owe me, he said.
Right?
His fellow servant fell down and begged him, be patient with me. I will pay you back.
So in turn, let's say this is you in that day, right? You fall short. You have a couple things that you messed up on, right? And then instead, the Most High, based on how you treated somebody else, is gonna be like, no, bro, you done messed up too. I'm gonna hold you to that standard that you were trying to keep everybody else who's gonna go into it, right? Go ahead.
Verse 30. But he refused. Instead, he had him thrown into jail.
He did the most, right? Go ahead.
Until he should pay the debt.
Right.
But Salakia, verse 31. When the other servants saw what had happened, they were very upset.
They're like, bro's tripping, right? Go ahead.
And went to the king and told him everything.
So in that same manner, right, you start treating your wife a whole bunch of crazy. What if she starts praying crazy like that? I think there's that verse in Sirach, right? I mean, you don't have to get it, but it says when somebody's in anguish or something and they cry to the Lord can hear them, right? So there's prayers that can be beneficial for you and there's prayers that can be against you, right? Go ahead.
So he called the servant in. You worthless slave, he said.
Right.
I forgave you for the whole amount you owed me, just because you asked me to.
So when you mess up and you start crying to the Lord, he's like, bro, I forgave you, right? So go ahead.
Verse 33. You should have had mercy on your fellow servant.
You should have had mercy on your wife when she messed up, right? Go ahead.
Just as I had mercy on you.
Right, go ahead.
The king was very angry, and he sent the servant to jail to be punished until he should pay back the whole amount.
Right.
Verse 35. And Jesus concluded, this is how my Father in heaven will treat every one of you unless you forgive your brother from your heart.
And it doesn't say just forgive them. It says from your heart, right? So from your soul, you sincerely forgive your brother, forgive your sister. In this case, we're talking about your wife, right? When your wife messes up, how you're supposed to forgive her sincerely, right? From your heart. So that one day when you pass or when judgment day comes and you're sitting there wondering if you're going to get beamed up with everybody else, Christ is going to look at you and be like, bro, you didn't forgive your brothers when they messed up with you. Why should I forgive you now? What makes you think you deserve to be forgiven? And that's how you got to look at everything, right? So I'm going to read that stone one more time, right? To love you with the same propensity that Christ loved the church. This means you're willing to lay down your life for her and show mercy when she falls short and be patient with her. That's everything that Christ did for us, right? We're supposed to forgive others in hopes that we get forgiven in that day. Who are we to not hold our own wives, our loves, our wife of our bosom to the same standard? Instead, we raise up the standards so much and forget that they are trying to. Husbands, be compassionate, understanding, and thankful because they are trying. That's one thing you guys got to understand. Everybody is trying. You're trying. Even though you're on the front line with the fringes and the ZTs and the book and the yelling and all this and the bring it outs, you are trying. You will mess up, And the same way your wife is going to mess up, right? And you, the same way how you want that mercy, she wants that mercy from you, right? So number 4, to be considerate and honor you, that my prayer not be hindered, right? So, yeah, 1 Peter 3:7. I didn't throw it on there. So let's get that.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being their heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
Right, so consider that she is the weaker vessel, right? According to the Bible, having that in mind, she may not be as strong as you emotionally and mentally. Listening goes a long way. And remember, listening or hearing her out does not mean you have to agree with her on everything, right? So let's get Ezekiel 34:8.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, verse 8.
Mhm.
As I live, saith the Lord God, surely because my flock became a prey.
And this is the reason why I brought this out, is because your family, your household is your flock, right? Go ahead. They became a prey.
Surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field,
Why?
because there was no shepherd.
So because there is no leader in that household, they became beasts. They became meat to every beast in the field. They started going into different doctrines, into different religions, philosophies, right? Go ahead.
Neither did my shepherd search for my flock.
So when she messed up, you didn't go out there looking for her. You didn't go out there trying to make sure she was right. Go ahead.
But the shepherds fed themselves and fed not my flock.
So you ended up learning everything, right? Taking all this wisdom and abundance for yourself, but you didn't do a damn thing for your flock, right? To get that in Proverbs 27:23.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 23. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks.
So be on point to know the state of your flock, right?
And look well to thy herds.
So don't be that shepherd that is just, I don't care about my wife. I don't care, as long as she's there, as long as she's cleaning, as long as, bro, the Most High is keeping track of everything that you're doing, right? So I would be lying if I said I never asked my wife for her thoughts or advice. Why? Because I chose her, because how she carries herself, respectful. So why would her character change when I'm already starting to polish her up, right? To bring out the better sides of her, to improve her, right? So she wants what's best for me and what's best for her. So why would I not think that she's gonna weigh out the options she has and make a decision based off that, right? And let me know, oh, you know what? I think this is the best way to go about it. I think this is the best way to go about it. I'm gonna hear her out, because she's not trying to sabotage our relationship. That doesn't mean she's running anything. I don't know how you guys get this misconstrued of asking your wife for advice or asking your wife for an opinion means, or keeping everything away from your wife is seen as you being a simp or something, right? So let's, number 5. May the merciful God, Yahweh, give us good success in all things, right? Tobit 7:12.
Book of Tobit, chapter 7, verse 12. And Regel said, then take her from henceforth according to the manner, for thou art her cousin, and she is thine. And the merciful God give you good success in all things.
Right, so this should be a consistent prayer for your marriage. The Bible says when the righteous prays, it avails much. So James 5:16.
Book of James, chapter 5, verse 16. Confess your faults one to another, and pray for one another, that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
So like one thing, how I told the brothers, one thing that hella helped out in my life, I guess in this walk, and especially in my marriage, right? A couple years ago, we went to a Tabernacles in LA. We were in Hemet, right? Shout out to this brother, Gaza. He got on all the brothers, and he was like, you know what? When I was a Christian, bro, I used to have a little Christian book, and I used to have the list of everybody who I would pray for every single day. He's like, then I became an Israelite, and now I don't pray like that. He's like, do you guys do that? I was like, bro, I barely ever pray, right? And then, well, you know, throughout the day, you pray here and there, but literally sitting there and praying, like on my knees or with my hands open, and, you know, what you would imagine as a prayer, I was like, I don't do that. And ever since that Tabernacles, I told my wife, I don't care what's going on. I don't care if we're arguing or whatever. At the end of the day, me and you, we're going on the living room. We're facing the east and we're praying, right? And when, of course, we've had to add brothers on our list, you know, at the end. or if a brother needs specific prayer, we'll pray for him. But doing that as a family, doing that as a group adds so much more to your life. And especially when say, for example, she doesn't want to do it. And I'm like, I don't know what you're thinking, just going straight to bed. You got to get up and you got to come pray. Or she'll do the same thing for me. And a couple of weeks into it, it turns into a routine. And now you guys, this is a ritual you guys do now, right? As a group over here bonding on praying to the Most High God in your guys' safekeeping and blessing of your family, right? So again, it should be a consistent prayer for your marriage, right? Pray for your guys' marriage and stability in this walk, right? Verse 6, stone 6, right? It says to help you be a virtuous wife. Proverbs 31, 27, and 28.
Con. Book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 27. She looketh well to the ways of her household.
So she makes sure that her house is on point. Her house is on point. And this is something that a lot of brothers also misconstrue, right? You got to let your woman be a woman, right? She has to have a space for her to even be able to do woman stuff. How do you expect her to be a woman if she's not given the opportunity to do all those things that you expect from her, right? Go ahead.
Con. Verse 28. Her children...
The rest of 27, my bad.
Oh, Salakia. And eateth not the bread of idleness.
So eateth not the bread of idleness. She is not lazy. That's one thing our sisters need to get on point. A Proverbs 31 woman, a virtuous woman, is not lazy. She's on point with everything that has to do with her house. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 28. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Mm-hmm. Her husband also, and he praiseth her.
Right? And that's also another thing, being able to thank your wife for the things that she does. Being like, you know what? Everything that you do is on point. Thank you for doing this for me. Right? Taking into consideration her feelings. Right? Her feelings. If a woman could build herself up, she wouldn't need a husband. She is a reflection of you. So if she's lacking in any area, it's because you are lacking. Right? It's just how we say, right? A wicked woman is given to a wicked man. A righteous woman is going to be given to a righteous woman is going to be given to a righteous man. So in that sense, if your woman is out there just tripping, being wicked as hell, it's because you're failing as a leader. You're failing as a head. You're failing as a shepherd. So if the things that she can better in, if you're not letting her know, it's because you don't care. And ultimately it's going to show in your relationship how much you're putting into it. Right? Stone number 7. To treat you as a double grace, as my faithful woman. This is Sirach 26 in the GNT.
Con. Book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 13. It's like it.
It's good.
A gracious wife is her husband's delight.
So he's going to be happy that he has a gracious woman, right?
Her abilities make him a stronger man.
So he's going to, because she's carrying herself so good, he's going to be feeling himself. He's going to be like, bro, I got everything I want. I'm blessed. I have nothing to complain about. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. A wife who doesn't talk much is a gift from the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Such restraint is admirable beyond words.
Because like how we know, man, your tongue can be the downfall of a man. And we know with our sisters, I mean, I probably got to just leave it there. Right? Like our sisters know how to gossip, know how to just tell stories and whatnot with their friends. But a woman who just learns how to keep her mouth shut, like say, for example, say, I don't know, a sister is over here talking about, look, my husband this, my husband that. If your wife can hold herself together and be like, well, my husband does it too. No, just, you don't have to stoop down to any level. Just let the sister say her piece. You don't have to throw your man under the bus. You don't have to be like, well, my husband this, my husband that. Don't do that. You're going to ultimately end up disrespecting your husband, trying to just talk with other people. Right? So verse 15.
Verse 15. A modest woman, a modest wife has endless charm. It is a quality too precious to measure.
Right? So a woman that knows how to carry herself is incomparable to anything. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 16. A beauty of a good wife in her well-kept home is like a noonday sun shining in the Lord's sky.
Right? So a woman who knows how to keep her household, a woman who is not lazy and makes sure that her house is on point. I'm going to tell you brothers a secret, man. You brothers that are single getting a wife, get you a woman that is OCD when it comes to cleaning. Trust me. ain't nothing. I feel so much better when everything is clean, right? And I'm the type of person who's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to relax. I'm going to clean after. My wife is the type of person who's like, I can't sit down unless everything is clean. She'll bust out the gloves, start scrubbing everything, bro. Get you a woman that is OCD with cleaning. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 17. Her beautiful face and attractive figure are as lovely as the light from the sacred lampstand in the temple.
So we'll finish it on that one, right? So a woman that takes care of herself, not only mentally, not only spiritually, but physically as well, because you have to understand, of course, we are men at the end of the day, right? So if you're attractive to your husband and you don't lose that attractiveness and you stay on point, you're not gonna lose that man, right? You know how to be quiet, you know how to keep home, you respect that man, and you look good for him. What is he gonna complain about, right? So double grace means rewarding her for the woman she is becoming, right? We like to be complimented and acknowledged. What makes you think that they don't? It doesn't make you any less of a man to do so. It doesn't make you any less of a man to compliment your wife and acknowledge her for doing good, right? Like today or yesterday, right? I wake up, I see my rib, and I tell her, you know what, good morning. Every single day, good morning, good morning. We always start off, good morning. The other day, I send her a text message, good morning. She's like, Dan, you don't text me good morning. I'm like, I tell you good morning every single day. She's like, well, but seeing it in the message made me feel good. So you know what I did today? Good morning, right? After telling her good morning already. This just little things to make sure that your wife is happy, to make sure you're happy at the end of the day, right? Number 8, to render you due benevolence. 1 Corinthians 7:3.
Con. Book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 3. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband.
So what's this mean, right? The one after that, that's the GNT. So this is the GNT.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 3 in the GNT. A man should fulfill his duty as a husband, and a woman should fulfill her duty as a wife, and each should satisfy the other's needs.
Right. So sex is a big part in marriage, whether we want to believe it or not. A man has wants and cravings, and so does a woman. Depriving her of that privilege is against the scriptures, but that doesn't mean every day, every hour, like you're just some sex slave, right? But you got to understand your man has wants. As a man, you have to understand your woman has wants, right? And that is a part of being a husband, being part of a wife, and you got to be able to read a room, man. Sometimes just because she's your wife, or sometimes just because he's your husband, doesn't mean that it's the right time. Maybe he's going through it, maybe she's going through it, and she's not feeling it. Respect each other in that sense, so it doesn't feel like you're doing the most, right? And if it does feel like you're doing the most, talk and communicate as to why it's feeling that way for you guys, right? Don't pressure something. Yeah, lock in. Stone number 9, to be long-suffering, kind, and without envy. So 1 Corinthians 13:4 in the GNT.
Con, book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 in the GNT. Love is patient and kind. It is not jealous or conceited or proud.
Right, so the scriptures say, don't be a lion in your own house. Being stern and assertive is how we are supposed to be, but not wrathful. Your wife is not your slave. Your husband is not your child. What you say is part of it, but how you say it is everything. Learn to initiate change, not demand it when your relationship is in shambles. Bringing up stuff when the straw is already broken the camel's back instead of saying something when it is heavy. If you think your husband can be doing more, recommend things you want to see him do, right? So you'll say something like, hey, babe, you want to read? That goes a lot further, especially to a man, in the truth, compared to him hearing, you don't even teach me anything. You don't even read, when you're arguing, when you're already arguing at that point, right? I remember one day my rib came up to me and we were watching TV, and she was like, hey, do you want to read a chapter in the Bible? I'm over there chilling, watching TV. And in my head, I'm like, no, I don't. I just want to sit here and do that. But the way she asked me made me reflect on what I was thinking. I'm like, how am I going to tell her, no, I don't want to read right now. I'd rather watch TV. So that made me check myself, obviously. And I'm like, yeah, all right, well, let's clean up and let's read. Compared to, say, one day me and her going through it, we're arguing, and then she starts going into it. You never want to read the Bible with me. You never want to do nothing with me. You never want to this and that. It could have been like, why didn't you say something? Why are you waiting until me and you are arguing to bring this up instead of having a day like that where you recommend something, right? So, of course, I said, yeah, let's read. If she came up to me tripping, that wouldn't have happened to where I'm like, okay, yeah, let's read. Instead, we would have probably gotten into it because of how she asked me to do something instead of her recommending something how she did, right? So stone number 10, to live joyfully with you all the days of my life. This is Ecclesiastes 9:9.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 9. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of thy life, of thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity, for that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun.
Right. So although marriages have ups and downs, the goal is generally to be positive and not toxic. Right. This is the woman you chose. This is the man you chose. Remember, your spouse is royalty in the eyes of the Lord. Right. No matter what problems y'all get, resorting to ill will to each other will never solve anything. Right. Respect each other in a way as being friends before anything. That's one of the things you have to remember. Right. That is your brother. That is your sister. That is your friend before everything. Remember how y'all acted towards each other before you consummated the marriage. How much out of your way you would go for that woman. How much out of your way you would go for that man. So what's changed now? Right? What's changed? Nothing's changed. The only thing, the title has changed, but that woman has not stopped being a daughter of the Most High God. For you to disrespect her when you guys get angry, that man has not stopped being a king on this earth every time that you get mad. Right? He's not your child. He's not none of this stuff. He is your brother. Right? He is your friend. And he is a son of the Most High God. So act respectfully towards these people, right? Towards each other, right? So Stone 11, to treat you as my companion and my wife by covenant, right? So this is Malachi 2 and 14.
Book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 14 in the GNT. You ask why he no longer accepts them. It is because he knows you have broken your promise to the wife you married when you were young.
Right.
She was your partner. And you have broken your promise to her, although you promised before God that you would be faithful to her.
So sex is the fleshly covenant of marriage. In doing so, she is now your companion, right? There is no going back to, oh, I didn't know what I was doing before. Now you're in the truth. You figured this out, and you still decided to lay with that man. You still decided to lay with that woman, right? That is your husband. There is no excuse. The only way out is adultery. But here is the cold part. This is Revelation 22 and 14.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 12.
Oh, 12, yeah, Salakia.
And behold, I came quickly.
I come quickly.
Salakia, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to as his work shall be.
To give to every man according as his work shall be, right? So everything that you do, you will be held accountable for. Telling your husband he is no longer your husband just because you're not feeling him no more. Telling your wife she's not your wife because y'all argued about something, and you start going about life as if it's okay, right? As if that was a proper divorce, right? What you think Christ is going to tell you in that day, right? Scripture says we're going to be ashamed of our sins in that day. God didn't put you away for not being faithful to him all those years before you came into this truth. So why would you put your wife away for a simple misunderstanding, a little argument, or whatever it may be, right? And that's one thing that I do try to tell brothers, right? When they start going into things like, well, what law did I break? Or if it's not a sin that I did this, did that. And it's like, look, bro, when that sky cracks and Yahweh Shai comes down and he sees the way that you acted, or he sees and it brings up something, an account of you, what are you going to tell him in that day? You're not going to sit there and try to make him look stupid, bro. So why would you do stupid things now, knowing you're not supposed to be carrying yourself in that manner as a man of God, as a woman of God, right? So check yourselves, man. Lock in, right? Stone number 12, to treat you as my virtuous woman. Proverbs 31 and 10.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
So once you build her up and she builds up herself, she reaches the level of a virtuous woman, but it doesn't stop there. A virtuous woman still has room for improvement. So help her level up always. Right? So I think this is your lesson now?
Yeah.
Con.
Right. And this is just some that could help all of us, man. Like, a lot of us brothers and sisters, we have husbands and wives, right? And for our people that aren't married, this could very much benefit you in the future if the Lord wills to give you a wife or husband, right? So Could you read Matthew 7:12 in the NLT?
This is Matthew 7:12 in the NLT. Do to others whatever you would like them to do to you.
Mhm.
This is the essence of all that is taught in the law and the prophets.
Right. So in essence, wives should be treating their husbands like themselves, and vice versa, men for their wives, right? So when you're having an argument and a disagreement with your significant other, you should remember it's not you versus them,
Mhm.
right? When you're having an argument, right? If you and them, it's you and them versus the problem and the issue that's at hand, right? You guys are a team and you need to get through it together. And the team is only as good as the members, right?
Right.
So that's one thing that I try to keep in mind whenever I have a disagreement, or stuff happens, man. You gonna have a little back and forth, right? We're all humans at the end of the day, with our own thoughts and feelings and desires and all that, right? We might not see things at that moment the same as your partner, right? But you got to remember, it's not me versus you, right? It's both of us together in one ship trying to get through this problem. It's the issue at hand that's bothering us. So
Right.
we're a team. Let's tackle that, right? So let's see. Okay, so and the thing about that is that nobody could do this for you, right? Kashab can't come and fix my problems at my home with my wife, right? The pastor from down the street on Sundays serving pork tamales after church can't come and help you, man, right? You could do whatever, but it's you and your partner at the end of the day that will either make it or break it, man. Right.
And if I could add too, there was
Absolutely.
also something like a quote that stays stuck in my head with situations like that. You pretty much said it, right? The problem isn't the problem; it's how you deal with the problem. That's the problem, right?
All right. So if things aren't working, it's because of you. It's because of you and your partner, right? If you guys are going to have a good marriage, it will also be because of you. So both of you choose what is right. Treat each other like you would yourself, right?
That part.
So give me Sirach 25 and 21.
This is Sirach 25:21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure.
Like my brother was saying, right, that she isn't just your slave, right? She isn't just a sex toy, right? So this mindset is what should be instilled in the mind of our people today, right? So we grew up in a society, right, where we are taught to want to have sex, get oral sex, right, from women, and we don't intend to stay with them. We don't intend to wife them. We don't, just smash and dash, right? This is the type of culture that we grew up in as Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, right? We have to get the words of the Lord instilled into our minds, right? Read that again.
This is Sirach 25:21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure.
Right? So if you don't see this woman being part of your life for the rest of your life, don't enter her. Likewise for our sisters. If you don't see yourself being with this man for the rest of your life, don't engage in intercourse. Right. So
and look, so like, and just on that point, because I see where you're heading into it, we had a counsel with the sister, right? And of course, we are of the understanding of sex is marriage, right? And the sister was from a congregation that didn't believe sex was marriage, and she was talking about how she was with different men, and basically was like, well, something always happens to the point where we're never able to finalize our marriage through paperwork, but they slept together, and the only reason I bring this up is because, of course, in their understanding, right, you had to have a signed paperwork in order to be with this, to be considered married, but you should still see sex as sacred, bro. That's like the part I don't understand, where to them sex is just a whatever part of it. It's the paperwork that's the stamp of approval with it, but you should still see sex as sacred. And we get bashed on for saying that sex is marriage. Oh, they just want to whore out our women, bro. We're literally telling them don't sleep with that man unless you see a future with him, and you're not going to ever leave him. and vice versa for the women. So I just wanted to chime that in there, bro, because I never understood that.
Yeah, and that's essentially what we believe over here at the Refiners, right? So, sex is marriage. Once the man and the woman consummate, right, engage in sexual intercourse, that you are both married, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because somebody might be watching this video and not understand our position, right? They might be coming from that position of you need paperwork, right, and be married through the city and council and all that to be viewed as married, right? And they would like to say that we're causing fornication. Well, we're viewing them that way as well, right? So that's just a food for thought, right? But what's it called? Okay. So yeah, going back to that, don't just look at this specifically too for men, which also could be for women, right? But don't just look at your partner as sexually for desires, right? Those are still daughters of the Most High God, not sex toys, right? So John 15:13, Babu Shah.
This is John 15:13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
Right. So if you wouldn't lay down your life for that person, you shouldn't lay down with them in bed to begin with, man. Right?
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Facts.
Christ laid down his life for us and as an example, right? There's no greater love, right? And as a husband, you should be ready to risk it all for your wife and children, right? Sirach 32:18 GNT.
This is Sirach 32:18 in the GNT. Sensible people will consider every opinion. So like, yes, sensible people will consider every opinion,
right?
But arrogant people will let nothing stand in their way,
right? So we got to realize, man, we may know the Bible, right? We may know verses, precepts, breakdowns, right, and be spiritual, but we aren't always right. Listen, consider what your partner is saying, right? This goes both ways, right? They might be seeing something that you aren't seeing in the moment, right? Go ahead. Proverbs 18:13.
This is Proverbs 18:13. Listen before you answer. If you don't, you are being stupid and insulting.
Yeah, that's the GNT, I believe, right? So it's a stupid thing to answer before listening, especially to your partner, because that's your family at the end of the day, man, right? Like the brother was going into, man, hearing plays a big part in it, man, right? The Bible says don't deny the matter before you hear it first, right? Paraphrasing, right? So right here, Proverbs is saying that's a stupid thing, man. Listen, man.
What you're saying, understand first, then rebuke.
Yeah, understand first, then rebuke, right? So and also don't always take correction and become defensive, right? They're just trying to make you better at the end of the day, right? It's all about like my brother, shout out to the brother Soldier Gabar, man, right? It's all about delivery too, man. Yeah. And being able to communicate and saying things, right? Like don't wait, like the brother was saying, don't wait until it was the last straw. Say something when it's heavy, man, right? Say something, because there's a saying like closed mouths don't get fed, right? So I think we're at
Galatians 6.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Galatians 6:1-3 in the GNT. My friends, if someone is caught in any kind of wrongdoing, those of you who are spiritual should set him right.
Right. So if you're spiritual, you're going to set him right. We claim to be spiritual, right? We're Hebrew Israelites. We have the spirit, right? So it says right here, if you're spiritual, set him right. Right, go ahead.
But you must do it in a gentle way.
You must do it in a gentle way. Why?
And keep an eye on yourselves so that you will not be tempted to.
Right. So it's easy, man. Right. It's easy, especially if like the brother brought out, man. Right. Sometimes women are the weaker vessels, well, for the most part, right? Some have better mental fortitude than others, right? But this when somebody's doing wrong, it says if you're spiritual, you should go about him and set him right, right? But do it in a gentle way, right? And it says keep your eye on yourselves that you may not be tempted as well, right? Say your wife does something that makes you upset, or you'd want her to fix, or it's just troubling you, right? And you should say something to her in a gentle way, right? And the reason you should do so is because if like the brother just came out, like if you just came out and started talking like out of pocket or just completely off the walls saying like why don't you do this or this is what I got to put up with every day and just blow up and
Yeah.
everything, you could also catch yourself. It says right there at the last part, keep an eye on yourselves as well so that you don't be tempted as well. It might be an easy thing to hear somebody yelling at you and it gets your emotions riled up and you start yelling back and you fall into it.
Mhm.
Great men like
Yeah.
have fell victim to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just be careful. Be careful with what you're saying. Come into this. Be mindful. You know what I'm saying? Any way it could go any way, right? Go
And
ahead.
like and something too. I had a brother in the world, right? A homie in the world, quiet dude, very meek dude. He got with this crazy female, and ever since ever since getting with her, every time they would argue, bro, spazzing. I had never seen this nigga spaz like that ever, bro. Until he got with this woman, and that woman, how you said, like, brought that side of him out.
Yeah.
He started
Tempted him
acting like
too.
her. Yeah,
They
Bro.
became one flesh.
yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Ah,
That's crazy because it's not only a physical thing, man. It's a spiritual thing too, man. It affects the spirit,
that
right?
part.
But right. So there's ways of doing things, man. If you're gonna correct somebody, make sure you do it in a gentle way. Also, keep an eye on yourselves that you don't fall down to that level, right? Don't fight fire with fire. Extinguish it with living water, man.
That part.
Which is the word of the Lord, man. Right? Go ahead.
Con, this is Ephesians 4:31.
Uh-huh.
Let all bitterness and wrath and anger
Mhm.
and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice.
Mm-hmm.
And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you.
Right? So, man, you shouldn't be talking. We shouldn't be talking to nobody like that, man. We're all adults, right? We all should be able to communicate and talk, right? Nobody likes being talked to like that. You wouldn't like somebody speaking bitterness, wrath, anger, and malice towards your mother, towards your father, towards your family, your sisters, your brothers,
Facts.
right? Don't talk to that to a fellow Israelite, man, a brother or a sister, man.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, so when you're talking to one another, keep in mind that your wife is still a sister, like the brother said earlier, and your husband is still a son of the Lord, right? Put away all bitterness, put away that ego, man. The ego would be the biggest downfall in a relationship, man. Right? Take away all evil words from one another, all right? And realize we're in this hellhole together, man. Right? We got enough enemies all up in this world, man. We got enough enemies all up in this world, all these nations, all our people, even the enemies of our own nation, right? For you to come home, right, and find it be in bed with another enemy, man. Well, you feel me? Like you don't need that, man. Right? So some of us grew up, yeah, Baba Gashah, right? So some of us grew up with broken homes, man. Right? So I get it. It might seem normal to us, right? To be divided because that's all we saw when we grew up, right? We came from broken homes, but that's not the correct way of we should be going about things, right? We must put that old stuff away and learn again, be born again, right? Forgive one another, be kind. The world already hates us.
Man,
We don't need to carry that hate into our own homes,
that part.
right? Go ahead.
That's great. Yeah, this is Proverbs 15:1 in the NIV.
Mhm.
A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger.
Right? So remember who you're talking to, man. Right? Remember who you're talking to. It's not some random person on the street or a coworker. This is the person that you lay with in bed every night, man. Right? So things may trigger you that your partner does and says, but remember how you react could change the outcome of the whole situation, man. Right? A gentle answer and a request could go a long way. Nobody wants to be treated like a dog, right? Not the husband or the wife, right? Say you're doing laundry and you still need to do the dishes, right? You still need to take the trash out, right? Don't be like I'm doing all this work and you're sitting around doing nothing. I need help. Go do the dishes, do something. right? Be like, tell your partner. Be like, I think I'm having a hard time doing these tasks. Do you mind like giving me a hand with the dishes while I take care of the laundry? Thanks, babe. I really appreciate it so much. Right? Just talking like that would get a way better response. Right? It's all about how you communicate.
Right, and bro, and that's funny, like how you said that because I've had situations with my words like that, you know, where she's doing something and I'm like, okay, she got it, and then she'll have a mood after, right, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, well, you see me doing this, you see me doing that, and I had to tell her over and over because she's of the of the understanding of, or was of the understanding of, you have to you should know, you should just know. No, I don't just know. Like you have to communicate. You have to tell me, hey, if you tell me, especially now that I have a kid, right? She'll do something like, all right, I don't know, she's doing the dishes, and she'll be like, hey, can you help me change your diaper? What am I gonna say? No, I'm not gonna change my kid's diaper.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I'll go do that. Yeah, sure, I got you. But if you just expected me to do it, and I didn't even like, for most part, I didn't even know that you were expecting that from me. So communicate, like how the brother's saying, communication is everything, man, and how you communicate.
Definitely, right.
So Ephesians.
Yeah.
This is Ephesians 4, verse 2 in the NIV.
Mhm.
Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love.
Right. So be patient, right? Be humble, be gentle, be patient, right? Unfortunately, these qualities or characters, when they lack, start to be the snowball effect that leads up to a marriage ending up in a divorce or separation, man. Right? All these little things snowball into a bigger issue, so it's better to nip it at the bud, man. Right? So right here, so I just want to share this with you, right, from the American Sociological Association, right? So it says that women initiate a majority of divorces, with studies showing that they file around 70% of cases, right, of divorce, and a figure that rises dramatically to about 90% for college educated women, right? So this is, uh, so women, our men and our women are quick to give up, man. Right? Our men and our women are quick to give up on each other when we were never intended just to give up, and the people that you love like that, right? So we are made one flesh for a reason. That's why divorce hurts and changes people, right? You could be talking. I'll be talking to coworkers, just random people, bro. People really go through when they go through a divorce, man. Right? It could be the woman that goes through it more or the wife, but that affects everybody. That'll affect the children. That affect everything in somebody's life, man. Right? So there's this movie that I just saw that came out a few months ago called Together with Dave Franco and his girlfriend. Right? Long story short, they got cursed and their bodies were literally becoming one, and they spent the movie trying to separate themselves. Right? It's a crazy movie. But anyways, it's called Together. But yeah, it's crazy. But the word divorce comes from the word divortium, right, in the Latin, which means to separate, right? Imagine physically separating one flesh. It would hurt a lot. And you'd be left not being whole, man. Right? So everything that we do in the physical happens spiritually too, bro. Right? So there's a lot of runaway wives in Israel, man. Right? And it's been like that even since the ancient days, bro. Christ told a woman at the well that she had 5 husbands, right? And some say that that's talking about idols as well, right? But nevertheless, we tend to want more and not be grateful for what we have as Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, right? Mm-hmm. We were like that since the days of Exodus, wanting more and more and not being grateful for what has been done for us and what we had and what the Lord given us, man.
God.
Be patient. We aren't perfect. We mess up. But that doesn't mean that you stop showing love, man. All right?
This is Matthew 19:6 in the NIV. Mm-hmm. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Mm-hmm. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate.
Remember, a partner is a gift from the Lord. There's people who never have someone. There are people that will never have somebody to love, and people that are gonna die alone, bro. Remember, the Lord is the one that's joining you together, right? Like the brother brought out earlier, a wicked woman is given to the portion of a wicked man, vice versa, for a righteous woman for a righteous man, right? But it's all ultimately given to you by the Lord, man. All right. So just remember, man, some people will never experience a love like that in their lifetime, right? As well as they might die alone, man. All right. So be grateful, bro. Right. Be patient. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 19:14 in the NIV.
Uh-huh.
Houses and wealth are inherited from parents, but a prudent wife is from the Lord.
Right. So a prudent wife is from the Lord. The Lord gives you your partner, man, at the end of the day, right? He wrote it for you guys to cross paths, right? He knew this from the beginning, right? You're the one that's trying to figure this out, right? So a prudent wife is from the Lord, right? To be prudent means to act with wisdom, to care, and have good judgment, especially in practical matters, right? By thinking ahead to avoid risk and provide for the future, right? So this is how we should be treating one another, right? Some good examples is like you being busy at work or etc., and knowing that the Sabbath is coming up, and your wife or your husband prepare you food and have other things ready for you while you're not able to, right? That's an example of being prudent, man, right? A prudent wife or a prudent husband, right? They're going to be able to look out for you in the future, right? Think about your well-being. Did you eat today, right? Is he okay? How do you feel, right? This is a prudent partner, man.
And not only that, bro,
Uh-huh.
but right, for example, for us that of course we're under the understanding of polygyny is lawful, right? Like I remember once my rib had seen this one sister I was talking to, and she was like, well, let me talk to you about her though. Like, do you really think this is going to be beneficial for the family? Like, look how she carries herself. Look what she does. Look how she dresses. You think it's going to be good for our daughter to come across this? And I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right. I didn't see it that way. But of course, if you have a woman who's looking out for not only her well-being, but her family's well-being, you included in there, she's going to talk to you like that. She's going to tell you straight up, look, you know what? I don't think this is the best decision. Of course, this is your decision, but this is just my opinion and how I see things. And I had to sit back and I reflect on it. I'm like, you know what, you're right. So this is like how you're saying, a prudent woman is gonna look. She's gonna see that disaster at the end and say, you know what, we need to avoid this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
speak up. Right.
Exactly. All right. And all right. So for example, right, for the brothers that are part of a camp that have wives, I can't explain the amount of appreciation that I feel when I come home from camp and my wife has a shower running for me, has a change of clothes ready, has my dinner ready for me when I'm coming home from doing the work of the Lord, man. Little things like that make me want to be a better husband for him, bro. And that's simply what it is, right? And she could have just been like, you got your own hands, right? You got money, right? Do it your damn self, right? I gotta baby you. That's showing that you care, bro. That's a prudent partner, man. Right? And so ladies, that'll go a long way, man. Trust me. Right? So so going back to Proverbs 19:4, that's showing prudence, man. And I give all praises because I know that the Most High put her in my life. Like we just brought out, the Lord is the one that gives you your partners, man. Right? So Ephesians 6:4, bro. Show.
This is Ephesians 6:4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Admonish.
Admonition, yeah.
So through this, even though this is talking about children, bro, this could be applied to anybody in your family, man, right? Or anybody you meet in this life period, right? Don't provoke your wife, man, right? Don't and husbands and don't provoke your husbands, right?
To wrath. The translation.
Con, go ahead.
Look at that. Ephesians 6:4 in the GNT, it says, parents, do not treat your children in such a way as to make them angry. Instead, raise them with Christian discipline and instruction.
All right. So our people, we got a habit of getting petty with one another, man. We get very petty, man. Right. So we might do something knowing that that'll piss the other person off, man. Right. Provoking them to anger. Right. Because you want them to feel how you're feeling in that moment. Right. And that's just petty, bro. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. There's There's I be me myself like I be listening to a podcast called True 911 Calls
It's called
and
what?
True 911 Calls,
Uh,
and I hear the craziest these are all real 911 calls, bro. I hear the craziest stories, bro. Crazy stories, right? And I be thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, bro, like I bet that person thought it was just a random night or said or did something, right? And you never know when it's just somebody's last straw, right? They could be next morning you wake up and your husband packed his bags and left, man. You have no idea how you're going to pay the bills, feed the children, do this and that, take every day,
that's what you
right?
wanted, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. But like it's just crazy, bro. Like there's some crazy stories on there, man. But
To say, I mean, don't think that it can't be you.
yeah, man. It's crazy. Right? So go ahead. First Peter.
This is First Peter 4:8 in the NIV.
Uh-huh.
Right? It says, above all, love each other deeply because love covers over a multitude of sins.
Right? Love covers over a multitude of sins, right? What's that talking about, right? So love one another. Just like when Christ said, what's the greatest commandments? To love God and love your neighbor as yourself. Those are the greatest commandments, right? It covers a multitudes of sin. That means you aren't going to steal from your partner. You aren't going to murder your partner. You aren't going to commit adultery on them. If you love one another, right? Truly loving one another and loving your partner is going to keep you from sin, man. That's like the same umbrella of the greatest commandments where all of them hang under. Literally, when you love your wife, all the other commandments hang under that towards her or your husband as well, man. Right? So go ahead.
This is Hebrews 13:4 in the NIV.
Uh-huh.
Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral.
All right. So you don't want to be judged by the Most High, right? If you just honor your marriage and love your partner correctly, the only way that you're going to have a great and prosperous marriage is by keeping the commandments, man. Go ahead.
This is Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then shalt thou make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
All right. So we bring this verse out a lot at camp, man. Right. We bring this out to say that, right, you should meditate on the word of the Lord, right? And keep these laws, statutes, and commandments in your mind. Meditate there day in and day out, and then will you make your way prosperous, right? If you really love your partner and love your marriage, you should be thinking about them as well, day in and day out, right? Making sure that you're stepping the way that you should be walking in, right? Not walking in the way of the world, right? Remember to keep these laws, right? So you will actually love. Love is an action. If you love me, you're going to keep my commandments, right? If you love her, you're going to keep the commandments towards her as well, man. Right? So there's a saying that I learned when I was still in the Christian church, right? And it's still true, right? A couple that prays together stays together, right? So our responsibility as a head and a spiritual leader of the house is to teach our wives the word of the Lord, because they shouldn't be looking to anywhere else but you, man. Right? You will have good success if you teach your wife and your children the commandments that they should be thinking about it themselves and learn about it daily. Especially if you're a man from a camp. You shouldn't be out here just teaching strangers on the street, right, over the wife of your bosom and your children the fruit of your loins, man. Right? Build your house up so that the Most High God will, Lord willing, have favor on your house and hold you, and your marriage may be prosperous, right? That's pretty much all I got for y'all, man. So I don't know if you got anything else.
That's good, bro.
Man.
That's good. Here, let me just get one last one. And of course, where's that? Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter, right? Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, right? Keep that in mind. How the brother said, you put the Most High first in your relationship, in your life, in everything that you do, and you will prosper, right? And one of the coldest things, right, that the brother had mentioned is your wife should not be looking for any other man to lead her. You are her head, you are her shepherd. You need to make sure that you understand how your flock is doing. If somebody else is taking care of your flock, man, might be feeding them garbage, right? And then who has to deal with that at the end of the day and give an account to what had happened with the Lord's flock? You, right? So lock in, man.
Lock
Lock
in.
in. All right. Shalom, family. Let me close this.
Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, whom you seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom you delight in. Behold, he shall come, says the Lord of hosts. For who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness.